Why does the entire world care about US dollars? Think about it. A farmer in Brazil, a factory in Japan, an airline in Germany. Why do all of them need little green pieces of American paper? Is it because America makes great movies? Sometimes. But no, it is because of oil. Well, technically, in this video, we are calling it avocados, because geopolitics is easier to understand when it sounds like grocery shopping. For decades, there was basically an unwritten global rule. If you wanted avocados, you needed US dollars. And that rule quietly gave America one of the greatest financial advantages in modern history. Before 1971, the US dollar was backed by gold. Countries could exchange dollars for actual gold bars. So the system worked because everyone believed this paper can become shiny rock. Simple. But then, America started printing a lot of dollars. Too many. Soon, countries started asking uncomfortable questions. Wait, does the US actually have enough gold for all this paper? Which was a very awkward question for America, because once trust disappears, paper money becomes just paper. So the US needed a new system. If the dollar could no longer be backed by gold, what could back it instead? The answer was oil. Because apparently, modern civilization runs entirely on burning ancient liquid dinosaurs. In 1974, the US made a historic deal with Saudi Arabia, or in our story, the country of coupons met the big avocado farm. The agreement was simple. America would provide military protection and political support, and Saudi Arabia would sell oil primarily in US dollars. Now this was a massive deal, because oil was not optional. Countries needed it for cars, planes, shipping, factories, electricity, plastics, and basically every annoying requirement of modern civilization. So if countries wanted oil, they first needed dollars. And suddenly, the entire world needed America's currency. And this is where the real magic happened. Imagine you are Japan. You need oil. Saudi Arabia wants dollars. So first you buy dollars, then you buy oil. Now imagine every country doing this, every day for decades. The dollar became the middleman of global energy. Even countries that disliked the US still needed dollars, which is economically awkward. The US no longer needed gold to create global demand for its currency. The world's dependence on oil was enough. And this gave America an extraordinary advantage. Imagine if the entire world needed your paper just to keep civilization functioning. You could print paper and exchange it for real goods, real labor, real products, real energy. That is an unbelievable level of financial power. And it gets even more interesting. Countries selling oil for dollars often reinvested those dollars back into America, usually by buying US Treasury bonds. This became known as petrodollar recycling. So dollars would leave America, then quietly flow back again, like an economic boomerang. This helped America borrow cheaply, run massive deficits, and strengthen the dollar even further. The system reinforced itself. But now, cracks are starting to appear. Countries like China and Russia have been trying to reduce their dependence on the dollar. China has already bought oil using yuan instead of dollars in some transactions. Saudi Arabia has also become more flexible with trade currencies, not abandoning the dollar completely, but no longer relying on it as exclusively as before. This trend is called de-dollarization, which sounds boring, but it could reshape the global economy over the next few decades. Now here's why this matters. If fewer countries need dollars, global demand for dollars falls. And if demand falls enough, America loses part of its financial advantage. Borrowing becomes harder. Inflation pressure increases, interest rates may remain higher, and the world slowly moves toward a multi-currency system. Instead of one dominant currency, you get several competing powers: the dollar, the yuan, the euro, and maybe digital currencies in the future. The monopoly weakens. For nearly 50 years, the petrodollar system helped keep the US dollar at the center of the global economy. Not through magic, not through conspiracy theories, and not because America secretly controls the moon, but because the world needed energy. Oil needed dollars, so the world needed dollars. Simple. But for the first time in decades, that system is beginning to change. Slowly, quietly, but significantly. And if money is power, then the global balance of power may be changing too. Subscribe for more videos explaining geopolitics without the boring parts. That is JustSo.